Hi folks, so today we're going to have a look at putting a very quick commercial way of putting a zip in for a cushion. And so I've got my back of my cushion, I've got a lining which is the same shape, and I've got another strip which is 3 inches wide in the width of my cushion, and I've just chosen a square. And what this will be, it will be sat on top of one end of the cushion and the zip will sit underneath it. It's a very simple way. This is how upholsterers make quick cushions for their suites. So we need to make some markings. Now the markings, I like to have my zip finish a good way away from my side seam. So I'm going to with this one I'm going to come in about, well, if I come in about 3 inches, that should be enough for a wide cushion. You want the zip to be wide enough that you can actually get the cushion in, but it can't be too wide. So I'm going to come in for 3 inches. I'm just going to make some marks on my edge of my fabric, so they correspond. These are just guidelines, so as that when we've got this together we can put these marks will match. Now on this one here, I want you to flip it over and I want you to transfer that mark, that 3 inch mark, into the middle. There. And then find the middle of your fabric. It's 3 inches wide, so that'll be 1.5 inches in. And just make a line down the middle of your... So we're going to be putting that onto here, and then we're going to be sewing from here out on both ends. And we do the same for the other end. Come in 3 inches. I should have chosen a better ruler than this. So what we're going to do is put this onto this area here. We're going to put this onto the top edge. So my zip's generally at the top of my cushion. I'll grab some pins. I'm going to go to the machine and sew from here to here, and I'm going to reverse and reverse at the ends. So I'm going to sew from there to there. So you've got right sides together, strip it along one edge. I've got my balance marks here, and I've marked the middle of my fabric strip, which is called the zip strip. I've come in 3 inches and it's halfway between either of those edges. Right, we're here at the machine and we're going to just sew. We're going to line our edges up and we're just going to sew along this seam here. Okay, so I've sewn from here to here, cut my thread, then go along to the other edge and do the same. So here we have it, so that's free, that's been sewn together. Okay, so that's been sewn together through those layers. So we're back at our bench. So what I want to do is I want to get a pressing mat, and I want to press these edges together. Okay, so I've got a hole here, so I've pressed them all together, firm line, turn my work over, then I want to press this edge here down around about 1 inch. So what's going to happen is that zip is going to be attached to this little lip we've now made. So there's a little lip here because we've pressed, that's 1.5 inches, this is 1.5 inches wide, but we've only pressed this over 1 inch. So it gives us 1/2 inch difference between that edge and this edge. Now I want to put my zip on and I want to pin it into place. I'm using a long zip. Have my zip stopper or my zip runner, when the zip is closed, needs to be on the left hand side. I'm just going to pin this to the edge. We want to attach our zip along from here to here. when we look, it's going to be stitched inside, because then once we finish with this, we're going to stitch around the outside edge of that, and that then is complete. So let me just show you again. So we laid our zip onto our work, flip this up, pinned it, and we're going to sew it between, just past our little marks here, between here and here. Right, so I've got my zip foot on. So my zip has been sewn to that edge, and that will go up over top of it. So let's go back to my desk and let's just have a look at what else we can do with this. Right, we're back at the bench, so there's my zip attached, there's my opening. We want to turn this over so as that we can attach this edge to our double edge, which is our folded fabric or our zip strip. Just bring your slider down a little bit so you can grab it when we need to. Now we can pin this into place. We can pin this into place along here, or we can use some washi tape. I prefer to use washi tape because it's thinner. Make sure this seam is even, as even as you can. So what that has done is, instead of pins, it's just stuck those layers together. I've pushed it with my fingers, so it's now I need to actually push that zip runner there up into the work, so as it's open, because I'm going to have to grab that while I'm stitching and maneuver it. So we're going to go back to the machine. Now we've got our zip in here on our runners, this side of the end. This is all attached at the back. It is open for a little distance. And we want to start sewing our zip. Make sure I might need one more stitch. Come down for a few stitches. Just bring my runner down. So I'm going to have to put my hands out the side here. And I want to run my zipper, run it up, down to my notch, turn my work. There we have our zip stitched in. Remove my tape. Here's my rows of stitching showing. Both ends are secure. And so what we'll do now is we will just trim off, just make sure you trim the zip and not cut your fabric. There's one end, there's the other end. If you want to just run over these, if you're wanting to just run over those for your own peace of mind, do so. Quite often industry will put a bar tack on them, just for your peace of mind that they don't come undone. That's fine. So there's our zip opening with my green zip, which is well and truly covered inside my little flap here. And so the last thing we want to do is we want to put a piece of lining on this, so as this raw edge is not raw, but you could just overlock that if you wanted, but it's only one thin piece of fabric that would be on the back. So let's just go and have a look at doing that. Right, so here's our zippers into place. So we have a piece of lining. Now the lining's going to be too long because I just want to sew the lining to this single edge here, along here. I just want to sew this lining along this edge of our loose raw seam inside the cushion. Okay, so that's that seam going to be there, and I want to sew that, which I'll just go away and quickly do. Here's our, and it doesn't have to be any specific seam allowance, but we are using 1/2 inches for everything, so probably that would be ideal. It just gives the back of the lining a bit more body. So that has been sewn onto here. So you'll have a little bit left over, which is fine. I'm going to just put a pin at the ends of these two sides. And I'm just going to baste with a long stitch within my seam allowance around the edge of this. Now I can see through here. I should have gone from the other side, but so there we have our lining basted to the back of our cushion back. And I'm just going to go and trim this edge off. That edge has happened there because we don't have it here. Okay, so that because we don't have the white fabric all the way to that edge, we've got something remainder. So it's not as wide as this, because we've used one part of the white for a seam. So it's basically our cushion lined. Zip is hidden, give it a wee bit of a press, trim the white piece off the bottom, and there you have it. Ready to be put onto the back of a cushion.